Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did it.
We were kind of geeking because we're watching our intro.
The intro.
We never see it. Like,
Yeah,
the
now
way our
we
setup
visually
is.
see it in front of our face.
yeah.
Oh, God.
That's
the
one of
funny
the best
thing is-
things you did, man.
The funny thing is, I was just like, I have this AI app, so I'm like, I don't know, shit, we need a logo for this thing. I'm just going to put it in the fucking AI generator.
Dude,
I put like pro wrestling guys or whatever.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling.
When we were talking about doing, like, we've talked about doing this for a long time, but when we, like, once you were moved in here and you had the studio set up and stuff, and you were like, dude, what are we waiting for? Let's do it. I was like, yeah. And that's when we started talking seriously about it.
Yeah.
And it was like 4 days from that to us being able to record and being like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, we need a logo, we need an intro. And it was done so fast with no work, dude.
That's why AI's fucked up.
It is fucked up. But in a case like this where we have zero budget, it helps us get started.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, like once we have any budget or anything, or once we're farther down the line, like my wife has a bachelor's in fine arts and she's a tattoo artist and stuff, right?
Right.
She's told me, she's like, if you guys ever want some more not AI artwork done, let me know. And I'm like, yeah, at some point I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
You know? But for now, we're going to go with the
I
funny
fucking
AI
like the
because
fucking
it's awesome.
guys' hands molding between each other.
The shirt
is so good.
says like wrestler or something like that. That's the best shirt.
Yeah, I love that AI just like spells shit wrong, so like it makes it a
somehow
lot funnier.
How does it spell?
You're
it
spelling
wrong?
it for it.
On top of that, if there's one finite thing AI should be able to reference, it's a fucking dictionary.
Yeah,
Like
that's
what?
true. That's true.
How's it getting word spelling wrong in
Yeah.
any language?
Yeah, that's
in any
actually true.
language, it doesn't
'Cause
make any sense.
Every keyboard ever has like text correction.
That makes no sense, dude. No sense. I understand weirdness with human bodies and stuff.
Well,
but
it doesn't even need text correction. It just needs to like just take the prompt that you typed in and use it.
And just use that frickin' word. Yeah.
It's almost like it's trying to meld the text with the graphic in some weird
dude.
way.
Either way, it ended up with very funny stuff for us, which I love.
Because not every graphic it generates has text in it too.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know.
That's
how it
true.
works.
That's true.
But it's like it's pretty cool. There's another one that has like a big jacked guy on top of like the hammer handle, and it's very similar to the logo.
Okay.
So I was thinking about just using that for another shirt. It cost me nothing to design the shirts, so I might as well.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not do it?
So anyway, I don't even know what this has got to be like 3 or 4 now.
This is the third one, I
3?
think. Pretty sure it's the third. Yeah.
So, yeah, I actually have notes this time.
Cool.
I watched AEW this week.
Nice. Okay.
I watched Dynamite.
Nice.
What's
I gotta
today?
start watching it. I gotta start watching it more than what amount of AEW I'm digesting, because I want to talk about AEW as well. I don't mind. It's out there and it's part of the wrestling.
It's not the
presentation.
worst
No,
thing
it's
to
not the
watch.
worst.
You
That's
know,
what I've been trying to say the whole time. It's like there's good things about it, but there is places
Yeah.
where they need work. But it seems like they're working on it. You know.
Yeah, and it's
It definitely
not,
does.
Far off from production. Like
No. The production's
Their
good.
budget's pretty good. You know,
Yep.
like everything
Yep.
looks nice. They don't really skimp on that aspect.
It does not look like some tiny indie show. It looks like a
No.
pro show. You know what I mean?
I'll say one thing too is the in-ring work is definitely faster paced. And
Sometimes.
it certainly is.
Not
like,
always, but sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to be. Like it seemed like it was a lot more wrestling for the in-ring action versus the.
It's a different style too, though.
It is.
WWE has a more storytelling based style, and they have a more like you see some of it in WWE, but in AEW you'll see a lot more stuff that, with no disrespect intended, would be considered like indie-rific, like less emphasis on selling, less emphasis on making things logical if it was in a real fight.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is the reason they do that is because a lot of people that watch, they know it's fake. They don't care.
Yeah,
And
and
you
they
don't
know-
have to act like everybody hates each other's guts.
Right.
Sometimes it makes sense in a story, but
I mean, a lot of these guys they've acquired are just like talented in-ring guys.
oh my,
too.
yeah, I mean,
So-
some of the best in the world are there. Like
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson now.
Mhm.
Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and there's tons more. They have a ridiculous. I've been saying it the whole time. They have such a crazy roster, and all of their issues lie with their management. That's it, and that'll only get better with time.
Yeah. I remember watching like as AEW started and came out, and like all the guys,
it was red hot.
Where they were going, this guy's all elite, and you're like, whoa.
And
like,
there was a lot of unproven guys that you're going, I don't know who these guys are.
Yeah.
But guys like Darby Allin, he's so nasty.
But it was cool to see like guys from like the indies that you had seen before, like the Young Bucks that showed up and just were like, we're on a big show now.
Yep. Yeah. And they understood how to work it and everything.
Yeah.
Plus in the beginning you had Cody, and he was just, that was like right as he was starting to enter what he's doing now, he was doing there. And he had some of the best matches in AEW history. Some of my favorite stories, some of the best stuff.
See if I can get my
your notes going. Sure.
I don't even know where they are. I did have. Oh, I had, for one thing, I wanted to talk about Nia Jax.
Yeah. What about her?
Because I'm not a big fan of Nia Jax.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just not.
I love her.
I don't really know if I see the appeal.
So I think
I feel like she's very vanilla on the microphone.
I think she's good on the mic, too.
Really?
Yeah, but here's why I think this. She used to be so bad. And it seemed like she just didn't. And maybe it's, I'm just a fan. I'm just watching. I'm not backstage. I don't know what's going on. But it always seemed like she just wasn't all in, or wasn't getting the direction she needed, maybe. And I feel like since she's come back this time, it's been the best she's ever been. Her character work and her matches. She looks safer in the ring. She looks like she's taking it more seriously.
Oh, no,
she's having great matches.
She's definitely gotten better.
She's better in her role, and her promos. She's leaning in more to like being an elevated version of herself, which is hilarious because it comes off like she's just some catty Karen lady.
Right.
But that's good. That works.
Yeah.
She has some dude like.
There's this place for it.
Sure. Yeah. Like, for example, on, was it Raw? She just had a match for the King and Queen of the Ring with, who was it that got
We're
DQ'd?
not sponsored by Fireball.
No. Who did she have a match with? She just had a match in the tournament with somebody, and they used a chair and got DQ'd on her or something, didn't they? And it ended up turning into a huge brawl. It was Jade, wasn't it? It was Jade Cargill. She had a match with her, and Jade's daughter was in the crowd.
Was she on SmackDown?
Maybe it might have been SmackDown. But it was one of them.
The last two SmackDowns.
Oh man! So there was a moment where Nia had a match. She had a tournament match for the Queen of the Ring tournament with Jade, and Jade's daughter was in the front row, like where they kind of take the spears through the barricade, where right the spot they always do. Yeah. But whatever, I get it. They're trying to do it without hurting crowd, so I let it pass. But screw the bell guy. He can get hurt.
They do it on all the corners, though, really.
I think so. I mean,
I've seen them do it towards the ramp.
Yeah, me too.
But it's a little more.
That's the one that always gets broken, and they go flying through it and stuff. Well, Jade's daughter was next to that, and Nia did something to Jade, threw her into the outside of the turnbuckle corner or whatever, like threw her into that. And then she gets right in Jade's daughter's face, and she's like, your mom sucks. Right in her daughter's face. I love that stuff.
Okay, dude. That's pretty good.
Nia's always doing little things like that, man. I'm telling you. Don't give up hope. She's good, man.
I couldn't really. I never found the appeal there, but I guess I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
It's role playing. She has a specific role that I don't think they let her. I don't think they were effective in having her play that.
I just felt like she was slow in the ring, and that makes sense. She's big. So.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Right, but it looked like she was very like it just felt like she was taking forever to get through certain moves.
Okay.
I don't know. Just for some reason, watching her, it looks like she's in slow motion, where I feel like she's capable of more.
The thing is that she's a lot bigger than everybody else. Not just because she's a bigger girl, but because she's also very tall and she's working a giant style. And there's not a lot of that in the women's division.
Yeah. Well, there's almost none of it.
There's almost none of it. Because even the girls that are even remotely in her size range are like your Rhea Ripley, your Raquel Rodriguez, Jade, who else? Freaking, I mean, even what's her face there? Jade's tag team partner there. Bianca Belair. She's big and jacked too.
Well, yeah.
You know? But they're all like, they work a more like athletic, not really big man style.
Sure.
Like a stronger athletic style. And Nia works a straight up giant style. And that's why she works slower and stuff, you know, because you don't want to. It's like
she's
when
like almost.
Yeah, it's like when the Giant was in WCW. He always tells this funny story about how Hogan helped it click for him, like how to draw money. And it was, they were in Japan or something like that. And when he was in WCW, and Hogan was there, of course. And he did like a moonsault off the top rope, and he's the Giant because he was a freak athlete.
Yeah.
And he comes back and he goes to Hogan, like he thinks he's hard. And he's like, "See that moonsault? Isn't that crazy? I could do that." And Hogan goes, "Cool. Now draw money though." Because he's like, "You're a Giant though. You need to go out. No one cares that you do moonsault. Go out and go and do a big slow choke slam and work like a giant." So I think Nia's doing that, and I think it helps. They need that. They do not have that, and that's why when you see Nia working with smaller people like Zelina Vega or Liv Morgan or something, they end up being really good matches. Really good.
Well, that's another thing. I think Liv Morgan's really good.
She's unreal good.
She's really
She
good.
will be champion soon, guaranteed, dude. I don't know if she's going to beat Becky at King or Queen of the Ring.
I don't see that happening, but I do see
I'd like to see it.
I see. Well, you know what? Actually, that would be a good way to do it because you beat Becky.
Her whole revenge tour is to take everything away from Rhea.
Yeah.
That's what she's focused on.
Yeah.
And one of the ways to do that is to take
have
that belt.
Have the belt when she comes back.
I think that they were testing to see if Liv is there yet, which is not fair because like she's had the belt, right? But even when she had the belt, she didn't quite get a crazy run. Maybe my memory's wrong on that, but I don't remember her having a huge impactful run, right?
No.
I think what they're testing is to see if she's capable of being a world champion for real. Like if the fans care, and they do. And it's been obvious. Her feud with Becky's good, but also just her work in the ring, her work on the mic, everything. She's dialed in. She's ready to be that. Yeah. And that's important because I think the move with her is definitely have her beat Becky at some point for the title or somebody else if it ends up going to someone else and not Liv at King and Queen of the Ring. I think it'd be a good idea to have her drop it
I noticed it on Raw. Which I mean, for the last few weeks I've seen it, but she had a promo with Becky, and like
that was sick, man.
You know, Becky was winning the promo, really. This battle, but like you see that Liv doesn't really. She doesn't bat an eye. She's
comfortable.
She's not backing away. She's not like nervous about anything. She doesn't like let it. She doesn't go, "Oh shit!" Like she just fucking. What do I say here? You know, she's quick.
Yeah,
she knows
they're on the level.
She knows to stay there and fucking stay in the pocket.
I feel like the move with her, and maybe it's what they do, maybe it's don't, or maybe it's not. Rather, is to have her beat Becky for the belt
eventually.
Maybe not now, but have her eventually beat Becky for the belt, and then you have her start trying to seduce Dom hard and take Dom away from Rhea, and then because then when Rhea comes back from injury, now you've got Liv with her belt and her guy.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
You know. And then Rhea comes back, but that's
I think she will have the belt when Rhea comes back.
I think so.
It just sets up perfectly for that.
It's too perfect, and it's such a good, there's baked-in feud right there. Yeah. It makes so much sense to do it.
Yeah, it's already set for
that's the move, and Liv's ready. It's obvious.
Yeah, that was another thing I had, so it was nice that it like kind of flowed into that.
Cool, good deal.
Let's see. Oh, back on Raw. This is a couple weeks ago.
Sure,
with CM Punk. Showing up on Raw, up in the fucking...
That was incredible.
So cool. I loved that.
And then Drew goes up to find his ass.
Yeah.
And Punk comes out into the ring.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey there. And cuts more. Dude, everything really with Punk and Drew right now is incredible. Yeah. Some of the best stuff going on in WWE right now.
Yeah, and he's injured.
Yeah.
And
he got injured and was like... So I won't wrestle a match.
So what?
Watch this.
I can still be on the microphone.
Yeah. It's like when he got injured, the people who were, it's so funny. You saw 4 different types of fans. You have people that generally just don't give a fuck about Punk, right? And no matter where he is, they don't care. Then you have people who are just fans of Punk, so they know what his value is, and they don't care where he is either. They just like Punk, right?
Yeah.
Then you have the people who only liked Punk and thought he was the savior when he was in AEW, and the second he went to WWE, they're hoping he dies. Mm-hmm. And you have the people who, because he wasn't in WWE, they were hoping he fucking died in AEW. Yeah. And that shit is like, come on, guys. Like, the dude is so obviously one of the best in the world, and if he's not in the ring anymore because of just time out of the ring and age, which I think is not true. I think he's still one of the best in the world in the ring. The reason he is the way Austin was. It's not, you do not, like, what makes you the best in the world in the ring is not because you can take a fucking burning hammer off a top rope through a table or some shit. Yeah. It's because you can do nothing and have the crowd blow the roof until you decide they're done blowing the roof off the place. Right. That's peak in the ring. That's so much more important than any maneuver you could do. Mm-hmm. And Punk is a god at that. Yeah. He is so in control of the audience.
They're still chanting CM Punk at AEW shows.
Yeah. And that's never going to end.
It's not. It's never going to end. It's not even a good, it
never ended when they were chanting it at WWE.
Yeah.
When he was in AEW, they would chant it.
For double-digit years. How long was he gone?
At least 10 years. At least 10. Maybe
I think it was
11.
Like 12 or something.
Yeah, 11 or 12 years.
I mean, and they're still chanting.
Yeah.
Like, and that is so wild that you can, that's how you know that you left an impact. That's right. Like, there's a legacy there. It's like they still get what chants, you know what I mean? So Austin, it's those chants that you can, that kind of shit is great. If you're a good crowd worker and you can really, like, even the Daniel Bryan, like the yes.
Bryan's so good, dude. He's one of the best things about it. If you can
imprint those as a part of, like, a staple of the crowd and how they react, like, your legacy's there forever. It's always there.
And that's one thing to point out about AEW too, is like they used to say that they wanted their storytelling to be a lot of, like, sports based, where it's a lot of you say you're the best, I say I'm the best, whatever. Yeah, but they didn't all the time. They would just act like they did, but then they wouldn't tell enough story to back matches. Right. Now they are.
They still do.
Now they are.
Do they still show people's records, like win-loss?
If they do, I don't know. I don't remember. They did at one point. I can't remember the last time they did off the top of my head. They might still be doing that. I don't have an issue with that.
For a time, it was like that.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. But you have to honor it in storyline. If you're going to have the story of a guy being a number one contender because of his record, then you better actually have him be the number one contender and give him the match. Because, you know what I mean? Well, although having said that, and we'll think about UFC. How many times does the number one contender get to fight the champ? When the champ's like, I actually want to fight Conor McGregor only. It's like, you're a heavyweight though, so why do you want to fight Conor?
Yeah,
it's just for payday.
Yeah.
Well, so you could do. They could.
On the flip side, here's the thing though. You could also do what. Well, WWE is kind of doing this right now with Braun Breaker, where it's just he runs through everybody. Goldberg type of thing. Beat everybody, squash matches.
Yeah, in a way.
But you could go, hey, this guy's 13-0 now, you know what I mean, and it kind of like gives you
give him a match that matters, which I think is what they're going to do. I don't think he's just going to go undefeated forever. It's not like that. They're giving him squash matches because they're trying to tell the story that he should have been in the King of the Ring tournament because he's nasty and he's on the come up. And guys like Carmelo Hayes, who was drafted the same time he was, like this most recent draft, he's in there and just had a ridiculously good match with Orton.
I get a little bit I don't know. It's a little weird when they have a guy do squash matches for like more than.
It only works for a certain amount of time. And I think that that's what's going on now. I think they already pulled the trigger on it the right way. Like they had him do a few squash matches, but what it was leading to was him absolutely flipping out and smashing the shit out of this dude last week because he's going, hey, Pierce, you didn't put me in the tournament. Now see what happens. I'm going to tear all these nobodies apart until you give me somebody real. And I think that it's already gotten to a point where Adam Pearce is going to go, oh, okay. Here's a real shot then against a real guy, and you're going to see him versus like Gunther or something nasty.
Yeah.
Somebody that's, or Sheamus
now,
or someone
here's the thing.
with an
well, it has
established
to be,
name,
I would like it to be a baby face. I would like him to become a heel.
Yeah, I think I think he could do either.
I feel like right now, there's no monster heel besides Gunther.
He's a good one, man.
I
In the
think
women's
he
division,
needs to
it's
be-
Nia.
here's
She's
the
a
problem.
monster heel.
I'm thinking like, so I'm looking at Cody Rhodes and I'm going, okay, like who's his big monster heel right now? Like,
Can
who's
you,
his big
dude,
enemy?
real quick, you brought up Gunther and you just brought up Cody.
Yeah.
You know they're doing Gunther versus Cody for the world title or
That's what
WWE title
that's what
at
I'm
Bash in
really-
Berlin.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
what
That's
they
going to
need to
be
do.
incredible, man.
Because
Ooh.
that's what he needs right now.
Oh,
Cody
my
needs
God.
a guy that with a reason to hate him.
Yeah.
And he needs a
But it's so hard to hate Gunther.
target.
It's easy to hate Gunther in character. Like
Yeah.
it's that thing that WWE does so well. And AEW might as well. I can't say as much because I don't consume as much AEW as I do WWE, admittedly.
Right.
But WWE's been really good at getting the crowd to boo people that are bad in storyline, but are nasty in their work. Like the crowd knows that it's a work, and they understand that this person is godly, but they're supposed to boo him, so they go along with it and boo. You know, like somebody like Dominic Mysterio. A lot of people that boo Dom think he's the best heel in 20 years.
Yeah.
But it's fun to boo him.
Of course it is.
You know, and that's my point. Is a guy like Gunther, I think it's genuinely impossible. You cannot tell what you're seeing if you dislike Gunther as a worker outside of the character. You cannot tell what you're seeing if you dislike him. He's just too good. He's irrefutable.
Yeah.
Having said that, he's so good at being a heel and playing that role that he's a perfect, believable, powerful, like challenger to Cody as a heel.
And he needs an opponent in the interim. Like he can't just
well, he's
wait.
in the tournament right now.
He can't wait for Roman Reigns or for because Solo isn't building as fast as I thought. Maybe.
You're saying Cody.
Yeah, Cody specifically needs he needs like a big bad, you know, and there isn't one right now.
He just needs any heels.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of my main point is like it feels like we have there's not enough heels right now. Not enough big heels.
I think what they're going to do to mitigate that though,
it's harder
is
to
something
build
that
heels
they
now,
haven't
too,
done in a long time, which it is harder to build heels. I think so too, but I think they're going to go a different route with him that I also love and we don't get to see a lot of, which is that guy just is the number one contender, so he gets to go for it. Like with AJ. AJ's not necessarily a heel, but he earned the title shot, so he gets to face Cody. I think they're going to do that with LA Knight. You're never going to get LA Knight to be a heel, but he's getting a title shot because he deserves it.
Yeah.
At some point, he's going to face Cody for that title, and he's not going to be the bad guy. And I don't think Cody will be the bad guy. I don't think either of them do. I think they're going to have the dynamic of like Rock and Austin. Not that I'm not saying they're Rock Austin level,
but
I just mean the dynamic of you've got that, and I'm taking it.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't matter if I'm good or bad. You've got that, and I want it. And that's all they need. And that's where AEW's storytelling is good. That's where some of the stories that they tell, like they're you can tell that they're going into some other stuff, like with Edge and the House of Black and so Adam Copeland, whatever.
Yeah.
But like they're doing other things. They're trying other story things, and it's working. I think it's working.
They had a
fucking
weird bit this week where Malachi is standing in the ring.
And he gets hosed.
He gets just fucking lit up by like this red shit that
I've never seen a blood spot work once. I've never seen it work.
It just doesn't. It was so weird.
I've never seen it make sense or work.
No,
and that's just me. It might have popped tons of people and been a success for him.
Yeah,
I've never seen it and went, that makes sense to me. But I get it because they're trying to tie into, because he's feuding with Adam Copeland, and you know, he has history in the Brood, so he's just they're just doing a callback, and that's cool. I'll
Which
take
is
it.
cool. I like Edge as like that kind of character too.
Me too. Yeah, it works. I have no problem with it, and I have no problem with Edge playing the hits from his past as recalls in his matches in the future.
Sure.
I think that's how that's like genius to do that. I love when
I was
people
playing
do
No
recurring
Mercy
stuff
today. at work.
So that's just is the greatest wrestling game ever made by a lot.
I was just thinking of it because fucking Edge has got the fucking
Edge Christian Gangrel with the poet shirts.
Yeah.
But actually, at that point, I think Edge and Christian in that game have the pose taunt. Remember, what I'm talking about? The 5-second pose shit they would do?
Oh.
Yeah, they have the taunt.
Do they have that?
Oh, yeah.
I set up a whole King of the Ring tournament, and I'm going to play
That's so cool, dude. I have to do that. I have to do it. I never think to do it. I always do the story, and then I get burned out because I've beaten it so many times, and I know how scummy it gets.
Yeah.
Where they're like, you're facing Kane for the WWF title, and 6 guys are going to run in, and it's going to be like exactly. It's on the hardest difficulty. Good luck. Like, they're reversing everything.
Fucking, what is it? World Tour with fucking Joe Bruiser or whatever. And
Joe Bruiser is my favorite character in that whole game.
One shots you.
He's and you stagger, and then you're bleeding, and then you're KO.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do.
There's no recovery.
It's like, dude, the worst thing in that game, in No Mercy and in WrestleMania 2000, is if you do a Royal Rumble and Steve Blackman enters that Royal Rumble. Because for no reason, they didn't fix it in No Mercy, and it's just as bad in both. Steve Blackman comes out, and his, like, hold B power attack is an axe kick. And he will come in the ring, and no matter where you are, he will axe kick you, and he will get it off. And your guy will just stagger as many times as he's got to stagger till he does a backflip over the rope, and you're eliminated. One axe kick. It happens always. Dude, I'm telling you, do a Rumble sometime and don't be Steve Blackman and let him enter.
I almost did the Rumble. It was just like, I don't
Rumbles
know.
are fun in there.
I'm not used to the controls, so I felt like I didn't want to do that.
So what would happen, though, is you would do the Battle Royal in No Mercy, because that's how you can unlock, like, all the secret characters, is you literally just do the Battle Royal, like, survival mode thing, and just go as long as you can. So me and my brother would pick, like, god guys we made that were just monsters and couldn't be picked up and shit because they had 3 exclamation marks for height and weight. And we'd go, we got this. Blackman would come in at guy number fucking 90 or whatever out of 100 and go, axe kick, your run's ruined. And we'd be like, no! Flip out, dude. But yeah, anyways, back to like the AEW thing. I'm hyped for AEW right now. I think that they got a bunch of bad publicity with showing the CM Punk stuff. I think it backfired on them huge. And I think that they went, we've got to get away from that. We've got to just focus on what works and what matters. Yeah. And since that, stuff's been good. Like the story they got out of that with the Young Bucks kicking out Kenny and bringing in Okada, Kenny's greatest rival from New Japan, which is I can't wait
They've built that pretty
to
well
see
too.
those two cross in AEW. But and then Kenny coming back was just so cool, man. Mm-hmm. I hope he's good. I hope he recovers fully from the diverticulitis stuff. And I love that he came out and did a little piece of business with those guys to like set up for like, he's going to come back. And when he does, it's going to be on.
Yeah.
And he might be the best wrestler in the world right now. Healthy. He might be legit the best in the entire world. In the ring, he's probably my favorite wrestler in the world right now in the ring. Obviously not right now because he's like getting surgery and shit.
Yeah, but he's definitely...
When he's healthy, he is just unbelievable. He's my favorite guy in AEW, hands down. No question. Out of everybody, Kenny Omega's hands down my favorite guy. His theme song was done by Little V Mills, which is a successful YouTuber that does like metal, really high level, high production, high quality, like pro metal covers of video game music. And he's the best there is at it. And Kenny is a gamer, so he had Little V do his theme, and it's the best theme in AEW.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
they have so many guys. Yeah. Like even Jericho carries that show like quite a bit. There's always
he does a lot.
And Jericho keeps changing his fucking gimmicks too. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize that he was with fucking Big Cass.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
He's doing, what is it called now? The learning tree or something.
Yeah, dude, it's just insane.
He always has something up his sleeve.
It's awesome.
He always has something up his sleeve. But that's what they need. They just need guys. Like if you're gonna give guys the free reign to come up with their own stories, at least just make them come up with stories and let them and not have like, because that's the number one thing WWE is doing right now that's working really well and is a major shift in their product that people are loving, is that they're giving equal respect to stories on all levels. It doesn't matter if you're like the LWO guys versus the other crew with Santos that just broke off. Yep. They're giving plenty of time and like energy to that and respect to it and letting them cook. And I don't even think they're feuding for a title. You know, they just have a personal feud, and they're letting them do that.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, let's give them 2 minutes.
You don't need to.
No, give them matches and shit.
I don't know.
You know,
the way stuff. WWE, like, I think part of the reason WWE is, like, why their talent is shining right now is because the company is more the more successful the company is, the more the talent recognizes that, and the more they want to jockey for a spot.
Yeah. So people are hungry. They're driven. It makes them work harder and be better.
Yeah, exactly.
And that has to get rewarded by a team of supervisors and executives and stuff like Triple H and The Rock and Nick Khan and everybody else involved that's willing to let them and give them time to do it. Oh, you guys are good? Here's time to actually develop on TV and get known. Like people would come up from NXT all the time when it was Vince, and they would just go, you get no time or you get squashed and you don't matter because Vince is going, what's NXT? Now, people come in from NXT and they get cheered because anybody knows who the hell they are.
Yeah.
And then they don't get their name changed randomly.
Well, because fucking Shawn Michaels and Triple H, you know, it's like they're obviously going to.
Yeah, and the NXT class right now that Michaels is cooking up is absolutely ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
We see a bunch of them now. Like Carmelo Hayes is just so incredible.
Yeah, he's really,
instantly main event
really
ready.
Good.
He's so good. And what did Triple H do? Go, well, why? You're a former NXT champion, so we're going to treat you like a fucking champion. And you're going to come in with a chip on your shoulder.
It's not rocket science.
And you're going to face the real guys, the top guys.
It's not rocket science. I hated what they did with Neville Pack.
Oh, I agree.
Because
this guy was a huge NXT champion.
Was he the first? Was he the first?
Rollins. He was the second, I think.
Well, Rollins technically, yes, he was Florida Championship Wrestling.
Rollins beat Pac. I think it was Pac. Could have been. It might have been Cesaro, but I think it was Pac that he beat for the inaugural NXT Championship. Okay. But then he went main roster fast, and then Pac was like a major champion who I think he eventually dropped it to Sammy.
Yeah.
After a huge run.
Adrian Neville.
Yeah, so weird. Now
so
he's just
they
Pac.
took Neville, right, and they put him on the main roster, and he just became like a mid-card guy.
Just became a who cares guy. Lost in a sea of other who cares guys.
Well, you know,
because that's how Vince rolled. I pay attention to
Finn Balor
stories.
Was a NXT champ too.
He was. He's my favorite NXT.
He
champ
had his moments too, though.
Yeah.
But like now, it's weird that he's just kind of like relegated to this like.
He's already made though. He's already had world title runs and stuff.
Yeah.
He was the first Universal champion.
But he got. I still don't think he's utilized. Like I feel like
he
should
not
still be a
enough.
singles guy that's like getting guys over. Help get guys over. He's been around long enough.
I think that's what he's doing right now is helping get guys over though.
I mean, look at his resume.
Yeah. Dude, he was the founder of the Bullet Club.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not a he's
been around forever.
I think he could deserve more than that. But I don't know if he wants it.
But it's like AJ. It's like AJ. We were all going, AJ deserves more. He's kind of floundering. And then he's the first guy that has a major feud with Cody as the new champ. Though.
Yeah.
And that's what you do with those guys.
Yeah.
Finn should be challenging Cody in a match.
Well, what's great too is like you got guys like AJ and Finn who can just step up when they have
wherever you need them.
Yeah.
Yep. And they can do it all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're going to be those cornerstone guys like we talked about with Randy
100%,
Orton.
dude. 100%. No question. I feel like Damian Priest he's in his time right now, man. Like he's so good. He has stepped up so hard. He's great on the mic. Mm-hmm. Like his interaction with Drew and Punk, his contingent into that, stepping in and talking with Drew was so good.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And I feel like he's a believable champion and his credibility has shot through the roof since getting the title.
Yeah, and it didn't take long for him to just be part of the top of the
man, he's good. Yeah, I love him. However, though, I think when they eventually ever do a split of Judgment Day, you gotta have Finn and him face for that title. You gotta.
Oh yeah,
you gotta. Now,
oh man,
what's
really good.
I feel bad because I think he's really good, but the other Judgment Day guy who's with Finn, we all just call him Lord Farquaad because he just looks like Farquaad from Shrek. Exact. What's his name, though? He's in the Judgment Day now. Pretty much, he's like accepted in the Judgment Day. But he was a guy who came in and was unaccepted for a while.
Yeah, I can picture.
I hate it because I should just know his name, but all I can think of him as is Farquaad because it's all anybody ever calls him.
It's just Farquaad then.
He's Farquaad. That dude's wicked good though. Like in War Games, he was like the MVP of the men's match.
Okay, yeah.
Because he was taking all the crazy he was taking all the crazy moves and stuff.
Yeah.
He got thrown off the top of the cage and took that giant RKO and shit. And he's just sick in the ring. I think that guy eventually will move his way up.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm just so when Uncle Howdy debuts, is that supposed to be a SmackDown thing? Or
I don't know, but oh man, I'm so nervous about that. It could either be a train wreck or the coolest thing in the world that they've been trying to do for years with Wyatt and never got to.
They have, dude, it's all right there for them. It's like,
and so
it's so perfectly set up.
But the teases totally make it look like, for sure it's Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
But it also looks like they showed one of the QR codes was just like a Blair Witch style shot of a girl standing facing away in a corner, and I'm like, that looks like it could be Alexa.
I thought
please be Alexa coming back.
I think it is.
I think it's gonna be.
She's been saying, like, I went to her, I saw that, and I thought the same thing. I went to her fucking Twitter, and there was like, she's definitely kind of hinting at returning.
Please.
Like real
She
soon.
was so good.
I mean, she's been gone for a little while.
Long time.
So
man. Yeah, she had a kid and stuff.
Yeah.
Good for her. She seems super happy.
Yeah. And she is, like, she's top of that women's division.
Yeah,
like,
she's so good, dude.
Yeah.
So good. And was underutilized for a while because she was just she had her time and then they didn't know what to do with her after the belt.
Yeah. I can't wait for that thing. Like that
it seems like it's going to be the Wyatt 6, man.
Well, the build is so big that like they're ramping it up to be something.
It's going to be big. And with Triple H, he's going to, it's going to be a real test of him. How is he going to be with the creative stuff like that type, like a supernatural story, How's it going to be? Because
I mean, they've been doing it for a while too. Because after Backlash went off the air, they show. I saw footage of there's like fan footage of the like the Titantron kind of getting glitched out, and shit like that, and shit going dark, and then like they were teasing it there.
Yeah.
They're really.
It's coming soon.
It has to be coming soon because they keep going with this, and they're very clear about it. And everybody knows what it is.
The idea I keep seeing online is people saying that it's going to be a faction, maybe called the Wyatt 6.
Yeah,
and that it's going to be 6 characters that are all tied to Bray.
Yeah,
in some way that are in reality going to be a massive, tribute to everything Bray wanted to do and his ideas and his vision.
Well, that's what I think it is.
Awesome.
The whole thing, the way he built his lore was way deeper than anybody realized it was.
And they're going to get to use it.
And I hope they do.
And having Bo get to come back and honor his brother by
it's perfect.
It's
perfect.
Same with Alexa too, though, because she was so tied to Bray as well and never got to see all that.
She has to be part of it.
She just has to be, man. Anybody else but those two, I don't know.
She probably has like a date that she knows that she's coming back. Like they probably established how long she's out for or whatever.
I would like to see Eric Rowan come back too as an original Wyatt family member.
Yeah.
I think that would be nuts.
Yep.
I'd love to see Eric Rowan come back. I'd love to see Alexa Bliss. It's of course Uncle Howdy. It's got to be, and it's got to be Bo playing him. It just has to be. We've never given that guy a fucking chance.
No.
Ever. And he was so goddamn good, dude.
He was like
so good in NXT. It was ridiculous.
He was my favorite in NXT for like a long time.
He was so good.
And then him and Tyler Breeze were like my 2 favorites in NXT. when I was watching it.
Tyler Breeze was also so good.
Yeah.
And so underutilized.
But
although
like,
his
Bo's
comedy
fucking
stuff
thing,
was funny.
Well, that's another thing is it has to be Bo. And it
Yeah.
And so that video you were talking about.
It just is. We just know it is. You know what I mean?
The video you were talking about is, it says like something about we believe, right? You can see the E kind of glitching out and there's
yeah.
It turns into, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay,
it's
you're confirming this.
So good, dude.
Dude.
So good.
I really wish the Bo leave thing took off because
it was awesome.
The crowd would love that kind of shit.
But also,
it's so good.
You could see they were teasing like a cult leader thing with it.
Yeah.
Just like Bray, man.
Yeah.
But it just never went anywhere.
God damn, it was so good. I want to go back and watch some more of that. Some of that
OG
shit.
OG NXT was some of the best wrestling I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah.
The stories, the characters, the matches across the board.
I know, yeah. Looking back
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was such look at how many guys from NXT are running the industry right now in both companies.
Yep.
You know? Ambrose, Rollins, Reigns, Cesaro, Finn, Sammy,
all those
Kevin.
guys. But
Shinsuke Nakamura.
At the time,
he's not.
At the time, I was just watching it, and it was just like good, but it felt like it was like on the level. It felt like it was on the level of the other two shows, which is good, which is where you want that. That's better than where you want it.
In-ring performance-wise, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was like a smaller production, stage,
and a smaller show, or shorter show and everything too.
NXT was the best thing happening in WWE when it was
WWE Network, wasn't it?
Yeah, only, and it was revolutionary, dude. When
it's on USA now. It's on TV.
It is, yeah. When they did NXT Brooklyn 1 and Triple H came out, and that was the first time NXT squad got to work a real arena, and it sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out and did that, "We are NXT," like, and the crowd was going crazy.
Yeah.
The energy at that Brooklyn 1 pay-per-view was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And still is one of the legit best matches I've ever seen live.
It felt like they were building a new brand, and they were. And it's
Bayley,
the same. It's the opposite of the effect of the fucking ECW reboot that they had. It's like the complete opposite.
And it was never, you know what I mean? Like, NXT was just this brainchild of Triple H to go, how do we set up for the guys that are going to lead our industry in the future? He says all the time, I don't care if they end up being a star for us. That's not the point.
Right.
The industry needs to have people have a place they can go to learn how to do it at the highest level.
And we need talent.
If they end up leaving and going to AEW, cool. Yeah. If they end up leaving and going to TNA, cool. But we need the industry to grow.
Yeah.
And there's the indies don't do it as well as people wish they did.
Yeah,
there was times
you have too, the better.
Yeah.
So if you can,
like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and Ring of Honor back in the day was where so many guys like Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, like there was Cesaro, so many guys that came from that system.
Mm-hmm.
But NXT was like the finishing school. That was like you went there to get ready to run the industry, And
they taught you how to work for TV.
Yeah. That's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
That was something that's not
for TV.
They don't teach you that in most wrestling schools.
Mm-hmm. Which is where AEW has had some challenges that I think is getting a lot better.
Sure.
Early in, you could tell there was a lot of guys that were still learning how to work TV. But there was
because
still
they were
guys
in a rec center 3 weeks ago or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. And look at what some of those guys have turned into. Like again, Darby Allin. I can't say it enough.
Yeah.
Darby Allin has shown himself to be a legit star, dude.
Sure. Yeah.
He's of those original 4 that they were calling like the AEW pillars or whatever.
Well, they stuck Sting with him. There was a reason.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Obviously, MJF is the pillar guy that came from the fucking indie circuit to MAGA star of the industry, which he is, and I can't wait for him to come back, dude. Oh my God. I can't wait to see more of him. He was the best thing about AEW for me, hands down.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Dude, the stuff he did with Jericho, where they were like frenemies, and they did the like sing-along shit in the casino or whatever.
That's such a perfect dynamic, those two.
They were so funny, dude. They're so good. So good. But
I actually watched the ECW documentary on
what is it, A&E or whatever?
No, it's like it was like it was kind of about the fall of ECW, but not really. It was mostly about the resurrection with Shane that Shane wanted to do and all that. And just the one part that I grab onto the most is when they did the One Night Stand with John Cena. That match is one of my favorite of all time.
The crowd is so off the rails.
So good because it's one of the only times you see John Cena work as a straight up heel. Like
he has no choice.
Straight heel. Yeah. And he's very good at it too.
Yeah.
Like surprisingly really
it's
good
a bummer he never worked straight up heel.
Yeah. No, he was
in his
really
main
good.
run.
And it's cool because you get to see him understand that like this is kind of an indie show. Yeah. He knows how to cater to the It's incredible. Like you really see John Cena in a different light in that. And if you have not seen that match, like, you gotta go watch it because it's not John Cena. It's a different
Cena showed up
and
that
it's
night.
So good because Rob Van Dam is incredible. So you already have like it's served up on a platter like it's going to be a great match.
It's so easy,
It's like Rob representing ECW. You got Cena representing WWE. Yeah. Fucking Edge. It's like it's
in the ECW home arena.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Oh, dude, the atmosphere is it's so
off the
good.
Rails. When Paul comes out is so insane at that, dude.
It's so good.
That was the true finality.
The end of ECW. That's the way
was
I
that One Night Stand pay-per-view they did. That was the true last ECW show that felt like a true ECW show. When they tried to revive the brand after that because it was successful, it was just trash. But OG,
it's like Shane had he wanted it to be. And they were saying too that Shane wanted to revive ECW, and he wanted it to be online only,
which is super ahead of its time. Yeah, now. So ahead of its time.
No one was thinking
would have been
that.
So cool, man. If he let it be how hardcore it was before too, like let it be in the same style.
Let it
with
be that.
People swearing and
put it online. Avoid all the censors.
Yep.
Just do it the way you. I mean, that would have been perfect. But I don't think WWE
would have been incredible, man.
I don't think they were in the right. I think they were in this like transition where they wanted to like, So it was kind of at the time where they were trying to be more straight laced.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if they wanted their brand to necessarily be connected to it, but in a way it wouldn't have been. It would have just been under the ECW banner.
Dude, we would
you own it.
The only way you would have known about it is if you're watching it online.
Exactly.
That's it.
It would have been great. I think that's so cool because you don't think about that. Like
it's such a big what if.
He had that idea a long time ago. I don't know when this was when he tried to resurrect it, but it was way before streaming services.
Yeah,
and
WWE Network was also ahead of its time in cutting edge.
Sure it was.
That's the one thing AEW doesn't have that is a bummer for me. Is they need to get a deal with a HBO Max or something where every week after the show airs, it's on there and they do documentary content and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is great. Have it. I've been just getting on Peacock and just watching WWE shit because it's fucking just why not?
It's
all there,
dude. Also,
but
the one
I have
thing,
YouTube TV, so I can record all the shows.
I was just about to say AEW is starting to take more advantage of their YouTube. They're starting to do more shows like the Hey EW show with I can't remember the host name. He's very funny. It's RJ City, I think is the guy's name. But he's good.
Yeah.
That interview show's cool, and that's an AEW produced thing.
Why not do that though? Why not use your YouTube channel? Like
that's
you're trying to build an audience, right? So like use it. Number one, you can build fans, and number two, you can put a lot of your show on there, like
because I just don't have
cable. Not everybody has cable.
I don't have cable, and I don't have a ton of time to go back and watch shows. And it's harder for me to watch AEW than it is for me to watch WWE, which is why I'm not watching as much. What I do watch is on YouTube in clips.
Bite-sized.
It's all I can see. You know,
yeah.
Which, to be fair, thankfully, they will post big matches and stuff on there and big segments like the stuff with Omega returning and talking about his health and stuff.
Yep.
I watched the shit out of that.
Give me 7-8
dropped.
minute segments and I'll watch that.
Dude, even Stace doesn't really watch AEW, and even she knows that Kenny's one of my favorite wrestlers and was like, like on Instagram, she's like, did you see that Kenny's coming back? And I'm just like, I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah.
I love Kenny so much.
Yeah.
And they make him feel like he is the biggest deal there when they
kind of is.
When they have Roberts come out and do that call, like the minute-long call, and right as he's saying Omega or whatever, the music that's playing in the background ramps up into his theme and goes, "Damn!" Like perfect timing. The crowd blows up, the lighting and stuff. Kenny comes out, like it just makes him feel like he's such a big deal, man. It was awesome. And then the speech he gave was great, and the stuff they did after, it's just all setting up for good shit.
Yeah.
They really found a way to turn chicken shit into chicken salad with what they're doing with that, because the chicken shit was the Punk shit, like just why? But having Jack Perry come in and how they've turned it into a heel faction of the Elite is phenomenal, man. And doing AEW's best guys versus them, which is like, who's in it? It's Eddie Kingston, Daniel Bryan, so Bryan Danielson, FTR, and now Darby came back. He's still injured, but he came back to be like, nah, I'm fighting these guys too. Yeah. And showed up, came up with a flamethrower or some shit like a couple days ago or whatever. Came with a fucking flamethrower. It's like, all right, dude.
That's hilarious.
That's kind of psycho.
Yeah, because I just don't watch it. And like the reality is I probably should consume more of the smaller shit and the bite-sized
I also don't
things.
watch any TNA, man.
People don't even watch, and it's like people don't have time for shit anymore.
It's too much. I mean, just WWE is like, WWE right now is can't miss highest priority for me. It's just too good. It's like the perfect storm of what's going on there, with Triple H being ahead of creative, Vince being truly fully gone, the old guard being truly fully gone, and the team they have right now producing the show. Everything feels so fresh and so energetic. You can't miss it. You've got to be there. You've got to be watching it, right? But that's not to discredit AEW or TNA. No. Both are doing great things. AEW is, bigger scale slightly than TNA, but TNA is killing right now. And I'm not able to really see either just because I don't have cable.
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem is like WWE kind of dominates the market. You're already getting 5 hours of wrestling.
And you're able to just go on Hulu the day after Raw and go, let's watch SmackDown or Raw. And those shorter versions are the best way to watch it.
Which is why it's harder for these companies to get bigger. And and TNA,
they've got to get on it.
TNA's brand has taken
hits over the years.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem is you almost want to rebrand it, which they tried. They impact
rebranding
wrestling.
it, but what they did that was smart was rebranding it away from Impact back to TNA, and trying to get some of that energy back of when it was good and it was like the thing, like when Angle debuted
when they had the fucking
and they had the Axe division and
6 sides.
It was 6-sided. But I don't even care. I don't mind that they have a 6-sided ring or not.
It was gimmicky,
it's
but
just
it was
that
cool.
energy of like, oh, this is that thing you've got to be watching.
Yeah.
Same thing with Lucha Underground. It was like, this is that thing that's good that you've got to be watching. Except for Lucha Underground's all on Netflix. I mean, it doesn't exist anymore, but the whole run of the show is on Netflix. You could just go watch.
I don't think it's on there anymore. Well,
really? It was.
It used to be. I don't know if it still is.
It's got to be on something, though.
I believe we did find it that one day. It was on. It was on your website that you sent me.
Oh yeah, but that's not fair though. That's like just where can I find old wrestling content that's dead?
Yeah.
That's not on anything. You know what I mean? So that doesn't really count. But
that's
TNA and AEW need to get on some streaming platform. They must do it. It will change everything for them. It's the one thing that they're missing. They've got to realize that people don't give a fuck about cable as much anymore. Cable numbers don't matter as much. They matter somewhat. Like, there's still a metric you can point to.
It doesn't even count the same way.
Streaming, not having a footing in the streaming market is so much worse for them than if their cable numbers were whatever.
The cable numbers are weird, too, because, like, it used to be, like, it's views live. This is like, they would track views live. Now they track within the first 48 hours or the first week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of the fact that it's on demand and people will watch it later on.
I will.
Yeah. So your numbers are going to be inflated, sort of.
Yeah.
But Not really, and you're not gonna get those if you're only on live TV.
Exactly.
It's
exactly,
really
dude.
It's really a tough spot.
And
but also you got to be able to
like,
strike a deal with Netflix or Hulu or whoever.
Yeah.
So
it's just
you got to show that you're going to be watched.
It's tough, man, because AEW has been struggling to gain viewership right now, and I feel like what they're doing right now, the changes they're making are good changes that hopefully will help them gain viewers.
They have to prove that someone is going to. They have to prove that they deserve to be on Netflix or they deserve to be on Hulu.
But that's the thing. It's like a catch-22 or whatever, because it's because for them to get more viewers and look good, they've got to get on streaming. But the only way the streaming is going to care is if they're showing positives, and they're not.
So now what it comes down to is they're almost going to have to spend money to.
They're going to have to try to buy in on a deal, which wrestling companies used to do back in the day. They'd have to buy into a slot on cable. But that's I've never heard any, like, I'm not in the business, of course, shocker, but I've never heard anybody in the business talk about when the companies had to buy in on a cable deal, that being good for business. I've never heard anybody say that ended up working out well for them.
Sounds like it would.
It's always been the guys that are like, we get paid licensing to be on there.
Right.
Not because the other way around.
If you have to buy into it, it's showing that you're
losing money,
are needing help from something.
Yeah. But in AEW's case, it might not be a bad idea to maybe just take a bum deal. It's not good
negotiation leverage.
No, but it might be smarter for them in the long run to go, Netflix, what do we have? Well, not Netflix because Raw is going to be on there. But say like HBO Max or something. Yeah. What
put it on fucking
you guys,
Plex.
What will you guys give us to put it on
Crackle?
Friggin' whatever. Just
put it
a
on
streaming
TV
service
or some shit.
I was just about to say, do like an AEW channel on Freevee or something,
Plex or Pluto TV.
Pluto would be cool.
That would be
cool because Pluto's sick.
It actually is.
And even if they don't offer them a ton of money, though, it's the most underrated platform. But even if Pluto's like, we can only give you a certain amount of whatever, $10 million a year or something to be on here. That would draw crazy viewer numbers to their platform, especially because it's free.
And if they had a channel,
viewership would
if they had their own channel, it's playing all the time.
Yeah, I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
And you could mix up your programming and be like, we're going to do stuff from year 1, from 6 to 7. And then stuff from year 2, from 7 to 8 or whatever. And then we'll do last week's show right there.
Dude, they have Pluto's like kickboxing channels and fucking, they have some good shit on there.
Oh yeah, K1 reruns and shit. They have entire channels that are just dedicated to cool shit. Like, Mystery Science Theater 3000 just has a channel all day. Riff Tracks channel is 24/7.
Yep.
Adam's Family OG series in black and white, 24/7. And it's wicked good.
And they have big channels. Yeah. They have like Cartoon Network and like that kind of shit that runs.
Pluto would be perfect. But they might be able to get a better deal, though. They might be able to get better than that.
Sure.
I don't know what their deal is going to look like with the Warner Brothers Discovery thing that they're trying to negotiate, and that Tony thinks is great, but everybody else
Discovery Plus is a thing.
Says it's sketchy.
Don't they have Discovery Plus?
Yeah, maybe that's where they go. Maybe they end up on Discovery Plus. I just hope that that's what they've been sitting on that they haven't revealed yet, is that what they're negotiating is a deal for streaming, because that is going to transform the company. It's unavoidable. It will transform the company, at least their exposure internationally and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the move, man.
I only have 2 things I want to throw in.
Sure.
Braun Strowman's back, which is really pretty cool.
And I also love that R-Truth said he was Andre the Giant.
Oh, yep.
That's
awesome.
Hysterical.
R-Truth is God tier.
He's God tier, yep.
And then I wanted to also point out how good Maxine Dupree has been.
Dude, she
got way better in the ring.
Like, the only thing I need her to stop doing is the reverse worm.
Yeah, okay.
Not because I care that it's a gimmicky move. I think in general, as a move, it's just a weird move, though.
Yeah, maybe.
That's all it is. But you can tell that, dude, like when
she's so much smoother in the ring.
She was on Chris Van Vliet recently on his podcast. She interviewed with him, and she was saying, my goal next year is to look unrecognizable in the ring. She's like, all I do now is train in the ring. I'm so all in.
It shows
on it, and it is obvious.
It shows.
She every time I see her, she looks like she's way better in the ring.
Just
she's clearly
so
committed.
Smoother.
And something clicked. Something clicked mentally where she's just like, I am on the path. It's time, you know?
Whatever match I watched,
good.
She's the last time I saw her, I was just like, that is butter. She's absolutely nailing everything right now.
Dude, remember they had the Battle Royal?
So clean.
She came in and did stuff with like Nia or something like that in the Battle Royal, and it was fucking awesome. She looked killer, dude.
Yep. Yeah, she's really good. And I hope she gets that recognition too.
Me too.
She's like floating around.
All it's going to take with her, keep building her. It's okay. Keep having her lose.
Yeah.
People expect her to lose because she's still considered this newcomer who's learning, right?
Yeah.
But at some point you switch her into a nasty workhorse when she's good enough to do it, which she's going to get there because she's crazy athletic and it's clicking and you can see she's getting better. Mm-hmm. When she's at a certain level where it's time where you can tell she's comfortable, you can pull the trigger, you have her have some crazy match with some other good workhorse girl.
Yeah.
You know, you put her in there with like
a big event.
In a big match with like Becky or something, and you have them go 20 minutes but you don't do it when Maxine's not ready. You wait till she's ready to handle something like that, and then you have her coming out match as a legit nasty wrestler.
It would be great if they didn't even build it too much and just had
her
surprise Becky.
You know that's what I mean. And you have her go over, and you have her look incredible. You have the match be incredible.
Yeah,
as much as you can control.
Where you have like 5 or 6 kickouts and Becky can't believe it kind of thing,
and get the crowd absolutely shitting their pants.
Mm-hmm.
You know that one match. That's all it's going to take, and I don't know who it is that she's going to be against or when it's going to happen. But when she's ready, it's going to take one match where she has a crazy standout performance where people go, she's right, she's here. Yeah, it's time.
I really hope so because I do think she's one of the top. She's one of the top wrestlers in the division there, but like not recognizably. Like people don't notice it.
She's going to get there. Her mic work might not be on the level yet.
Sure. Well, she doesn't get a lot of opportunities.
But her mic work's not terrible, and her character work's not terrible.
Yeah.
They're moldable.
Yeah.
She's going to get there, man. And you can see it. It's obvious.
Yeah,
you can see it with everybody in the company right now. Like everybody they have, even the people that are kind of newer or the people that are unrefined, there's just this energy that you can see it on the screen, that backstage, there's such an incentive to get good, and you are celebrated if you do.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
You're going to get time.
They all want to be good now because they know this company's like.
And you're seeing people that were already good get better.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this is so cool. I'm so happy to be doing this in this spot right now.
And they put their head down and they go, here we go.
Yep. Like, here we go. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everybody seems to be doing that right now. And it's making WWE
it's
so
like
good.
when you lean forward when you're playing a game. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's locked in and like, this is nasty. We're going to make this era matter. It's just like when Vince back in the Attitude Era, like there's the stories. Obviously, we saw Vince come out and talk about like, we're not going to insult the intelligence of our fans and stuff, whatever, the Attitude Era beginning speech, right? We all remember that. But everybody talks about how backstage Vince had like a speech, like an address to the locker room privately being like, now's the time.
Yeah.
Anybody that steps up and shows they're on the level, you're going to be on the level. We need everybody in this locker room to be nasty. Everybody. You've got to be nasty. Every segment. And he like got everybody fired up. I don't know that Triple H did that this time around. I'm not sure if he did, but it certainly feels like something happened. And it might have been organic because of the paradigm shift in the company. You know?
I'm thinking it's mostly that.
Yeah, where it didn't even have to get said. People just realized with Triple H in control, it's all. You
saw a huge turnaround at WrestleMania.
It's on.
Yeah, I think everybody recognizes it.
Yep. And as far as AEW goes, I think that they are trying to do the stuff that has been missing. That's gonna turn their stuff around too. New company. It's only been around 5 years. It feels like that's not a long time. It feels like it's a long time. It feels like a whole mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not that long comparatively to other organizations.
No, it's not even. It's a drop in the bucket.
They're not going to just go away this soon. I think they're going to have another boom period for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And yeah, I want to kind of watch NXT a little more too. I like that they have like a farm system kind of. You know, it's like
and like I said earlier, I like that, and that Triple H's point for that farm system is not to it's not to make sure every single guy ends up in WWE. We're going to teach people how to work at the level, and then if they decide to go somewhere else, make them better.
You want a reputation for building good talent, so that
so people want to go there.
They go there, and then you have your first choice at that talent. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And then the cream that rises to the top, they have first dibs on. You know.
I'm the cream of the crop.
All right.
Yeah,
I love it. That's a good way to end.
Yeah.
Good timing too. This is.
I don't know how long we did, but
it's a little less than an hour and a half.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we at least an hour.
That's longer than
at least
I thought
an hour. Yeah. I think it's a little over an hour.
All right.
But yeah, good stuff.
All right. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's what we've been doing. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.
Adios.